Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and warm welcome to CIOTV.live, a sister concern of Enterprise IT World, which is a leading IT magazine in this entire South Asia region. We have been speaking to various stakeholders in IT and security about the market challenges, technological challenges, and how they are mitigating and making their organization immune from different internal and external attacks and vulnerabilities. Today, my guest is Mr. Vijender Mishra, Global IT Head and Global CISO, Alchem Laboratories Limited. Mr. Mishra, good afternoon, and thank you very much for taking time out and speaking to CIOTV.live.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjay, and thanks for having me here today.
All right. Can you please take me through the audience, your peer group who will be watching this about Alchem Laboratories and overall infrastructure and workforce?
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjay. I mean, you know that Alchem is one of the leading pharmaceutical company headquartered in Mumbai, having a total strength of almost around 20,000 plus employees here. And most of our 60% of our employees are field force because we are in pharma. Yeah. We are having very strong presence in domestic market and also in international market. We are having multiple offices in US, Philippines, and India. We got 30 plus offices across the country. Yeah. So when we talk about infrastructure, I'm sure that you are aware that if you see this pandemic, what we had faced, pharmaceutical companies are witnessing a shift in the way they function, where innovative products beyond the pills concept, automated machine systems, adopting artificial intelligence and machine learning. So they are the defining factors for the new boundaries. Yeah, but at the same time, pharma is highly regulated industry. Yeah, where they are getting monitored by different regulators. Yeah, and just to avoid any issue with the regulators, pharma still happy to keep most business critical applications on prem. Yeah, but for non-critical and non-regulated applications, moving to the cloud is a logical solution. And many pharma CIOs, CISOs in favor to this shift. And for this reason, several pharmaceutical companies are focusing on public and private cloud instead of having own data center, on-prem data center, or on-prem infrastructure. And shifting to cloud ensures multiple benefits as well, like cost, efficiency, better security and flexibility. So hence cloud adoption is the future, and I know many pharma companies who have already started their cloud journey, including my own company. Yeah. So if you say business critical applications, still we prefer to be on-prem. For non-business critical applications, I mean cloud is the future, and we have already started our journey, for cloud adoption.
All right.
Hope I have answered your question, Mr. Sanjay.
Yes, yes, you answered. The next question is, of late, the pharma sector or pharma industry has been point of vulnerability, attacks, different cyber security-centric activities. So how has been your journey within these 2 years, ensuring that your organization is not vulnerable or attacked by any of the miscreants from outside or even from inside?
Yeah, so basically, as you said rightly, pharma is the most vulnerable, industry considering this pandemic. I'm sure that you have noticed multiple cyber attacks happened even in India with major pharmaceutical giants. So you should have a different level of approach. The one way you have to strengthen your core infra. The other way you have to also ensure that you have all the best practices just to ensure that largely you are safe and secure. The third point also very important when this pandemic started, and majority of workforces, they started to work remotely. Yeah. So user awareness was one of the challenge what we faced. Users were not aware how to connect remotely, how to securely access the applications, how to securely communicate with the stakeholders and different business head functions. So I mean, one way you have to strengthen your core infra. Other way you have to also ensure that all the best practices you have. I mean, you can go with zero trust, you can go with different malware, anti-malware, ransomware, tools and tactics. But the user awareness was also very important, which we found, and we started this initiative to ensure that our users are well aware about the current and future threats. Because if users are not aware, then how they will think of from the protection side. Yeah. So one way, I mean, backend core infra, you need to ensure that it's up to date. The other way, you need to have user awareness and best practices. So that's the way you should have multiple layer of approach to deploy an extra layer of defense, and that's what we have been doing during this pandemic.
Like, do you get enough support from your management, the CFOs, from cost perspective? Because whatever, the way you are talking, you have got very good coverage of cybersecurity, isn't it? So it needs cost.
Yeah. So basically, what happened, cybersecurity was never in their priority list if you talk about pharma. Yeah. Even IT, IT was just like a, support function. But during this pandemic, when even stakeholders, they realized that dependency on IT has gone very high, and IT, can play a role of business enabler. Yeah. So when you think that one component of your technology can be a business enabler, same time you have to think that how secure this in facilitator should be. Yeah. So once I mean, and cybersecurity, this discussion, from basement to boardroom. If you see last 2 years, cybersecurity was everywhere. Yeah. Everyone talks about security. Even users are now, becoming more aware about the security. So similarly, even the stakeholders, business owners, they understand what are the risks we have and how we can, largely mitigate those risks while deploying and adopting a new and better approach. So that's the way you could convince your management, your CFO or your board that cybersecurity is important, and it's when IT becoming business enabler, cybersecurity it has to play its role to ensure that your business facilitator is secure. Yeah. So that's the way you can convince your management and get, I mean, all the best cybersecurity tools and services.
Okay. Mr. Mishra, you have got a typical situation where you have one side, you have got manufacturing, the other side, you have got core, activities, non-manufacturing activities. Some of your data are on-premise, some are on cloud also. So multiple, and many are in manufacturing, particularly many data might be there residing in the edge also. Securing all points, connecting from one point to another, plus you are connected with your dealers network also. So huge complex network, you must be having a good number of challenges. So what are your big challenges?
See, if you talk about cybersecurity, it's a cybersecurity is a cat and mouse game, between cyber attackers and defenders. Yeah. As cyber attackers, develop new tools and techniques, cyber defenders also create solutions for identifying, and blocking them. That's the way it has been. Yeah. And this inspires, cyber criminals to innovate, to bypass or overcome these defenses and so on. So I mean, again, you should have, a different strategy for different layer of protection. So when we say that in pharma we have R&D, so R&D is the soul of our whole business. Yeah. So that we call crown of the jewel. So something like crown of the jewel, when you want to protect, you should have different strategy. Something where you have a non-critical, or I would say lesser critical than what you have at R&D or at manufacturing, So you should have different, strategy to protect it. So multi-layer, defense and protection strategy you must have to ensure that your crown of jewel is largely safe and secure. But of course, you have some challenges in terms of, you have internal challenges and you have external challenges. So internal challenges, as we know in cybersecurity chain, users are the weakest link, yeah, or we say insiders are the weakest link. So how to convert or transform that weakest link into the strongest link? That's the challenge you have, and that's the challenge I have been seeing since last 15-20 years. Users are least bothered about cybersecurity. They are least bothered about company data. They just they are more interested into their day-to-day work. So how to change this weakest link into the strongest link? That is the biggest challenge this industry has been facing. And there are various ways you can address that. You should have you should have some best approach to bring cyber culture. Yeah. So cyber culture, one way it helps you to address your insider threats. User awareness and training, that is also one very important factor you need to consider. Yeah. And then you have some best tools and tactics also to address those insider threats. When it comes for external threats, definitely should have some different strategy, because insider threats and outsider threats, one strategy will never work. Yeah, so you should have different strategy to address those threats. And largely it works. Yeah, I have seen personally, largely it works if you have a well-defined strategy and you are ensuring that your all best practices and policies and procedures are getting followed. You can save your landscape. That's what I have seen.
What about saving yourself from ransom attacks, which are becoming very lethal these days?
Yeah, so you said rightly. Ransomware is one of the malware, I would say, which is going to stay here for long. That there's no doubt on that. Yeah, and you should have again some best practices to ensure that you are safe and secure and your data is safe. And if you talk about ransomware, I would like to share one thing. During last one of the panel discussion, I also discussed with them. See, ransomware has been a growing threat in recent years. If you say last 3 years or 5 years, yeah, it has been growing like anything. A number of high-profile attacks, demonstrated to cyber criminals that ransomware are profitable, driving a rapid increase in cyber crime. And on an average, if you see, ransomware claims new victims, every 10 seconds worldwide, you have one ransomware attack. Yeah. And if you see the cost, last year, ransomware costed 20 billion USD. Yeah. And this year, we are expecting it is going to increase by at least by 75 to 80%. So you see how big, economy is for ransomware. And now the new trend also came, that is, we call it double extortion ransomware. Yeah, that's a new trend in ransomware. So ransomware is going to stay here for a long. And as an enterprise, what you should do, that again, you should have some best practices to follow. Like I can give some examples. Stay up to date with your system, softwares, patches, firmware. Employee awareness is also important. You have to make aware your employees, that what type of risk you have and how you can avoid those risks. And also, considering different technologies. And the most important point is to have your proper backup. See what happens that nowadays, if you see, the double extortion ransomware attacks are happening everywhere. Yeah, where enterprises are getting targeted, and after their employees are also getting targeted. So we call it double extortion ransomware attack, and that is happening everywhere. Yeah. So some best practices can largely, give you some sort of peace of mind that in case of any such, incident happens, still you can, get your data and you can run your business. Yeah. And the last but not the least is to be prepared mentally. Considering what are happening around, and cyber criminals, how smartly they are acting, you have to be prepared. Yeah. So you should have a good, plan in case of any such attack happens. And then once you have well planned, strategy, definitely it will help you to continue with your business. So business continuity will be still there if you have a right strategy for ransomware also.
All right. Now, next is the data you have. You said that R&D is the crown jewel. and data must be very, very important. So what is your strategy? How do you ensure data privacy and identity also,
Yeah.
privileged identity also of your organization, key stakeholders?
So, I mean, while data privacy has always been important when we talk about pharma industry, yeah. If you see 10 to 15 years ago, this topic was not at the center of any company's conversations, yeah. And now, since the value and volume of data in pharma industry, especially if I talk, the value and volume of data are growing exponentially, yeah. Data privacy has really emerged as a board level discussion, and even top management also has all the time concerns about data privacy. When it comes for pharma, we have some regular, again we are bound with the regulations and all, and health information is intimate and personal, and we store a lot of such informations being a pharma company. So health information is intimate and personal. That's what we believe as a pharma company, and which is why we have HIPAA. I'm sure that you must have heard about HIPAA. HIPAA is Health Insurance Profitability and Accountability Act. So because of that HIPAA framework, I mean, we again ensure that we never violate that act. So that act has its own framework which needs to be followed by each and every pharma company, yeah, to ensure that still we consider data as intimate and personal data, yeah. And then again we do some sort of awareness training for our employees to make them understand that this data is very important. And I remember you mentioned about R&D data. So what we do basically, and that has been in a practice for long, that we do data classification, yeah. So once we do data classification, we understand that what type of data we have, what type of information we store, how long we can store, who should have access to that data, and how overall control has been implemented to ensure that data privacy is at place at any cost. So that's the overall blend of different approach we have, and that's the way we have been securing data privacy. But definitely data privacy is one of the major concern, I mean, everyone has nowadays. And being a pharma company, we ensure that we are fully compliant with the HIPAA framework. Yeah.
No problem. Mr. Misra, before I head to the last question, I must ask one question. I know that you can answer that. In a typical pharma company or for any company, how much of budget one needs to allocate for IT and cybersecurity? Is it good enough that you are doing? How much you are doing?
See, I mean, that depends. If you talk about pharma, IT has never been into their consideration for long. Yeah, all the time they consider IT as a junior support function. But during this pandemic, I mean, everyone has realized that IT can play a role of business enabler. Yeah. So now even management is very flexible. I have interacted with many stakeholders, uh, uh, business owners. They are quite flexible to give you as much as you require to ensure that you have business continuity. So business continuity means having any infra upgradation, or a cloud adoption, or moving towards any new technology adoption, and at the same time securing whatever you have current landscape and future landscape, whatever roadmap you have. So I have seen that stakeholders are very much flexible and open to give you what you need. But the one thing is that of course they have something in their mind when we talk about ROI. Yeah. So that will be there. But overall, if you see, I have seen that management or stakeholders are very much flexible nowadays to consider what you propose them to ensure that you have business continuity and scalable solutions what you are adopting. That's what I have seen.
All right. If you can reveal what are your future plans, future projects that you are thinking of taking up, or you have already decided mentally to go for in maybe 3 to 6 months time frame, maybe 2 quarters from now?
See, basically now, as I said earlier, that pharma is one of the most vulnerable. Yeah. So we are trying to ensure that we are fully compliant with fifth generation cyber attacks. Yeah. So saying fifth generation cyber attacks, I mean we have to be ready for that. So I mean we are in a process to ensure that we are ready to face any fifth generation cyber attacks. Also at the same time, business continuity is our also first, I mean top priority, I would say. So, but of course, I mean being in pharma and the way this industry is growing, you have multiple new requirement also comes, like now we are considering to go with the tier 7 of BCP, tier 7 level of BCP. Yeah. Initially, I mean till last year we had tier 5 or tier 5 or tier 6. Now we are considering to go with the tier 7 here, where you have 0% RTO and RPO. RTO and RPO is 0. So we are thinking from that aspect, trying to adopt all the best services and anything and everything which can help our business to grow. So that is our top priority. And we are open to adopt any technology. We are open to think about any solution which can really help our business to grow. So that is our top priority for this year.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Bijender Misra, Global IT Head and Global CISO, Alchem Laboratories Limited. Thank you very much for taking time out and speaking to us. Stay safe.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjay. It was my great pleasure to interact with you, and looking forward to have more fruitful interactions in future also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.